Hey, this is MANIK. I'm in Glasgow, and I'm at the Cheetah Club. It's been a sort of a long process to like get it together and get it going. I spent quite a lot of time last year just putting it together on and off. So far the reactions have been pretty good, so I'm quite excited about it. I'm glad you like the album as well. Try to do something different with it. You know, I didn't really want to make something that was just straight club music, or 'cause that's not really my style anyway. So I'd rather just tell a story, and it came together quite nicely. And you know, once I had about 14, 15 tracks done, and I was like, I pretty much have it done, and I just, you know, sprinkled on top the intros and the outros, and you know, it was a wrap. And Josh really liked it, and everybody in my inner circle really liked it too. So once I got the thumbs up, I knew I had something that was pretty cool. It's definitely something different, I guess, than what would normally be out there in I guess, electronic music. But for me personally, and those that know me, I mean, I like a lot of different styles of music. I mean, I grew up on hip-hop and, you know, sort of down-tempo electronic, more or less, and, you know, R&B and things like that. So it kind of comes across to a certain degree on this album as well. So, yeah, I mean, I tried to do something different and, you know, kind of encompass a story. Basically, two main themes going throughout: New York City and then the Warriors, which is kind of like the cover art concept, as well as some of the various samples that are kind of sprinkled here and there on the album. But kind of a combo of the two, because that's my favorite film, and you know, New York City is where I'm from. It's where I grew up, and that's who I am to a T. So it's like, you know, those two together really is kind of what I wanted to kind of showcase at least in my first album. So all my friends, we all listen to, you know, 80s and very sort of 80s hip hop, old school funk, that kind of stuff, and all of us listen to that all the way to the 90s as well. I mean, 90s urban music was big in for all of us. So it was just natural for me to like sit down and wanna put some of that into my album. You know, like I said, I really wanted it to be a part of me and myself and the story and where I'm from, and you know, that was a huge part of my life, and it still is till this day. So you know, I definitely wanted to include those kinds of styles in my album. didn't sit down and say, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna make 3 of this style, 2 of this style, because then I kind of feel like it would have sounded more forced. Basically, once I had the whole concept and the whole album down, Josh kind of ran through it and said, hey, you might want to maybe mix this track sort of in with this one. And then I started taking little bits and pieces from maybe this song, and I kind of, you know, made it more or less transparent in the next song. So, and then once he sat down, he mixed it together as one. I came up with the track list, sent it to him, and he sort of blended it as one. And yeah, so everything kind of just is in sync with one another. So, and it's kind of, to me, it's like kind of like a big soundtrack, more or less. Like the earlier tracks are kind of slower and stuff, and you know, it kind of just progresses. It's kind of like a loose interpretive soundtrack on even the Warriors movie itself. Like when I was listening to the album as a finished product, I was actually thinking about how the movie kind of went, you know, I mean, loosely, not to an exact T, because you know you can always pick and choose and you know and argue or whatever. But you know, at the end of the day, it's pretty much on point for how where they are at in their journey throughout the film as well. So. It's pretty natural to include it in the album and make it one of the focal points because, you know, it's been such a big part of my life as well, not just as a film, but as a story. And, you know, that's been my favorite film. And, yeah, so I just thought to include it and, you know, I thought to make it kind of different and, you know, between the cover art and everything else inside the album with the audio samples and whatnot, so.
It's got quite a distinctive soundtrack of its own.
I mean, I didn't want to mimic or copy or anything like that, and it's really not that similar if you like put it side by side. But if you like listen to it as a, you know, from front to end, both of them, they both kind of have like this nocturnal kind of New York City like retro kind of vibe to it, and that's exactly what I wanted for the album itself. So.